Hello, boys and girls. It's Cooberry time. Bernie muttered something else, held up his wand, slashed it through the air again. Still, nothing happened. Bernie looked disgusted with himself, or his wand, or both. He turned toward JJ and gave a half-hearted shrug. "One more time!" JJ called from the trees. "Just try one more time, please!" Encouraged by JJ, Bernie muttered something else, slashed his wand through the air, and waited. When nothing happened, Bernie sank to his knees, about to burst into tears. But what looked like nothing happening to Bernie looked very different to JJ. Standing a good distance away, JJ blinked his eyes and looked again. There seemed to be some sort of haze surrounding Bernie. "Bernie!" JJ called out, but Bernie wasn't looking up and didn't hear JJ calling. JJ could still see Bernie, but the haziness was getting thicker, making it harder and harder to see him. Then, no matter how hard JJ looked, he couldn't find Bernie at all. The haze was like a solid wall of stone. The haze was a solid wall of stone. "Bernie!" JJ yelled and ran forward. Bernie had clearly brought the cave back, but in doing so, had he been crushed completely? "Bernie!" JJ dashed into the cave, without considering the possible dangers inside, and was relieved to find Bernie sitting on the floor. Bernie still had his head down, disappointed by his inability to reverse the obstruction charm. He knew before he started what a difficult spell it was. His magic had been so successful thus far. He had started to feel like he could pull off just about anything. "Bernie, you did it! Look around!" Bernie sniffled and looked up. Took him a minute to realize he was now sitting inside a cave, instead of an open field. "I did it? You did it!" JJ looked around. There was no question this was Annika's lair. The walls were covered with the same odd marks that covered the walls of the wise monkey's trees. But these marks seemed much more sinister. In one corner stood a small table covered with a heavy velvet cloth. Arranged on top were crystals of different shapes and sizes. One of them looked like it had been smashed to pieces in a fit of rage. The opposite corner of the room was filled with tall stacks of books, covered in dust and cobwebs. JJ picked one up and leafed through. He could not understand the words, but the moment he picked the book up, he began to feel a chill that started into the very center of his heart. He put it down abruptly. "Where do you think it is?" JJ asked. Bernie jumped. "What?" The thrill of reversing the obstruction charm hadn't lasted long. "The wand? Devlin's wand. Where do you think she might hide it?" "I don't know. Why don't you keep looking around in here? I'll go outside. If Annika used an obstruction charm, she was obviously worried about someone poking around. She might have hidden it in the forest somewhere, or buried it underneath a rock or something. With all the magic she knows, do you really think she would have buried it under a rock?" Bernie shrugged. "You never can tell. Sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one." "Okay, but maybe I should go with you," JJ said. "I mean, maybe we should stick together. 2 brains are always better than 1. That's all for today. I'll see you next time.